Welcome back to the Grand Solar Minimum channel. Today is Monday, November 25th, 2019. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Let's take a look at some space weather real quick before we get into our weather update. Our solar wind speeds have slowed down quite a bit from this weekend's past solar. Well, we didn't really quite have the solar storm, but it did increase solar winds. But we're sitting at 416.8 kilometers per second now, with a density of 3.9. Reporting 0 sunspots once again today. That makes 12 days in a row without sunspots. A total of 248 days in 2019 without sunspots. We do have a pretty decent sized large coronal hole at the southern region of our star, and we are expecting to feel increased solar wind speeds from this particular Earth-facing coronal hole right now. We are expecting solar wind speeds somewhere between 5 and 550, and that will be on November 27th through the 28th. So Thanksgiving Day, we do have a possibility of a minor G1 geomagnetic storm. They're not ruling that out just yet. Our TCI is coming in at 3.9, up a little bit from, again, we had some solar wind bombarding the atmosphere, and that does heat it up just a little bit, not a lot, but tiny bits, and it did. So there you go. All right, let's take a look at the SDO in motion, take a closer look at that coronal hole. As we, like I said, 0 sunspots. We don't have anything on the horizon. The sun has been pretty quiet as far as sunspot activity. As you already know, if you've followed this channel this year, we've reported very few sunspots as we continue heading towards the bottom of that minimum part of the cycle before we go into a weak solar max in solar cycle 25, which we're still a few years away from the max part. So let's get a look really quick, guys. I want to show you a quick article. First, here overseas, November 25th morning update on ex-tropical storm Sebastian, expected to bring severe winds into Ireland tonight and tomorrow morning. Ex-tropical storm Sebastian, or its remnants, has transitioned into an extratropical cyclone overnight and are now reorganizing. Sebastian traveled to the North Azores. The minimum central pressure of Flores Airport reached at 993.7 at local time midnight. Peak gust winds right now is 101 kilometers per hour. This is expected to deepen significantly over the next 24 hours while moving towards Western Europe. Its center is heading towards southwestern Ireland and is likely coming ashore in the morning hours tomorrow, November 26th. Check it out. Morning satellite and pressure analysis reveal the cyclone is located 44 degrees north and 25 degrees west, with intensifying band of convection over its northern parts. I said west, not west, and that
you haven't officially had
that's
two cups of
that's a
coffee
new
yet,
location
so
of the
it's
world.
okay.
Anyway, a well-defined drive intrusion is pushed around the core from the southwest. And look at all these maps here about Sebastian. Lots of maps. That's why I like this page. Lots of maps. Anyway, we'll leave the link here, and you guys can check out the forecast. But Northern Ireland, UK, you guys are about to be impacted by this extra tropical storm is what they are calling it now. Where's the part I want to read you guys? Heavy rainfall is associated with the convection ongoing close to the cyclone center. The swath of intense rain is nicely visible on the high resolution models. Models suggest some of this heavy rainfall will also push into the southwest Ireland, but should not be particularly strong. So that means we're going to see some moderate rain, I guess. Heavy to moderate to heavy rain coming in from this particular storm. But we will keep you guys updated. And let's take a look at the current radar, I should say. Right now, it is frozen, like the movie. Here we go. Get a little bit of motion. So snow across Norway in the southern parts once again. Denmark, rain showers leaving your area. The United Kingdom, well, it's raining. I know, that's a big surprise to you guys. There's a look at the temperatures over there, pardon me, in the UK. Pretty moderate today, nothing too crazy, nothing too cold. Pretty much a raw day. Looking at the flood alerts, right now we've got 49 flood alerts, just to be prepared. 4 flood warnings And the good news is 0 severe floods as we speak today. Let's take a look at our forecast for the UK. Today, mostly cloudy with rain moving northeast across Britain. Heavy at first across the southern England and Wales, and followed by some sunshine. Showers probably staying dry as well in the far north of Scotland. Tonight, outbreaks of rain continue across northern Britain, with showers dying out after midnight across central and southern areas. However, heavy rain and strong winds will be reaching the southwest by dawn. And on Tuesday, a band of occasionally heavy rain will push north across the UK, scattered heavy and possible thunderstorms with strong winds in the south and the west. All right, let's take a peek now at the national forecast. But before we do that, here in the United States, Thanksgiving this week is going to be kind of a nightmare situation. At some point, you will be in a storm in the United States. And the Weather Channel breaks it off pretty much Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Today is going to be the best day of the week, unless you live in Utah in the upper elevations. But other than that, for the most part, today is going to be the best day when it comes to weather. Now, there is a system moving across the plains. Nebraska, Minneapolis, you guys will be looking at 5 to 8 inches of snow, and I'll show you that here on the map just in a second. But Tuesday, things pick up a little bit. And again, kudos to the Weather Channel for breaking it down by the region here, Northwest, South, Midwest, and West. But taking a look at our weather map, we've got a big low pressure system. There's Tuesday's storm that I was just talking about. Nebraska, you'll get it first, and then this thing creeps up into the northeast, but it doesn't go to the northeast. It's moving in the northeast. The snow part of this storm will be in Canada in a couple of days, while the rest of us will remain with just plain old rain. But Denver, Kearney, Nebraska, pardon me, South Dakota, Northwest Iowa, and parts of Minnesota will see snow on Tuesday, heavy rain across the Ohio Valley and Tennessee Valley, and then on Wednesday, it's just plain old rain in the east. If you live anywhere, Maine all the way down to Louisiana, expect rain showers if you're traveling in this region. Snow picking up in the northwest, especially in the northern higher elevations of California. And then on Turkey Day, that's right, folks, hopefully the local drive is not that bad. But the thing is, the widespread weather for the week is going to be a chance for people to drive in some slick conditions or just plain old wet. The northeast, not too bad, a little frosty there, some light snow falling in New York all the way through Maine. But for the most part, we're going to see a snow line from parts of Kansas, New Mexico, Arizona, all the way north to Montana and North Dakota. The far northwest, you're going to stay dry on Thanksgiving. Southeast is the place to be this year, guys, especially if you're in Miami, Florida. That will be the sweet spot for all of the weather. And then Friday, for those of you who may be just visiting family over the weekend and are traveling and making it a 3-day weekend, more of the same from Thursday to Friday. The center part of the country, the northern plains, will get snow and ice. And then the center part of the country, southern parts, will see nothing but heavy rain. Northeast and northwest do remain dry. Once again, Florida, your Thanksgiving plans are not ruined at all. And then take a look at Saturday. All the way through Saturday, Florida is the sweet spot. I'm getting tweeted. More snow across the northern plains after we already had the 5 to 8 inches that we see in the middle of the week. We could see more of the same for places like Minneapolis, South Dakota, and northern Nebraska could possibly once again get more snow as we see more rain to the Ohio Valley, and this system is starting to creep up into the northeast. So very, very, very busy week. Today is probably the least amount of weather that we're going to see across the United States for Thanksgiving. And let's take a look at the map to verify everything we were just talking about. There's that heavy snow event that starts tomorrow, going across parts of Colorado, Nebraska, Kearney, Nebraska, McCook, Nebraska. All of Nebraska really has a good solid shot at 3 to 5 inches. Some localized 8 inches is possible. And then we get heavier snowfall in Wisconsin and Minnesota, and they're expecting close to a foot of snow up in the far northern part of that region. The storm takes off through the northeast on Thanksgiving Day. Huge mess starting to form in the northwest and in the southwest, and these two systems will merge with moisture to make a pretty big system that starts to make its way out of the southwest on Friday, November 29th. Snow and rain and ice, everything you can imagine will happen from this center of this storm as it moves through across the United States. Again, this one is racing to the northeast, but the snow part of this is going to be towards the Great Lakes. Now, this storm on December 1st, this is Sunday. This is going to end all the Black Friday events and everything like that. But if you live in Western New York, Pennsylvania, watch out for some super heavy potential for icing to develop as well. So be careful traveling out there. Northern Minnesota, heavy snowfall for you guys. That's now 3 snowfall events in the week for Minnesota. This system races across the northeast and across the Great Lakes. Snow behind it on the backside of this storm. And we will see some snow up here in the northeast from this system as it drags cold air from it. And light snow, 1 to 3 inches possible here in the northeast. Parts northern, like Maine, you could probably see isolated areas of foot. 5 to 8 could be expected from that system. In the northwest, once that one leaves on Tuesday, well, here comes another system. Pretty decent sized one. Not really. But for the most part, we get a couple of days between the 4th and the 5th of December. Stays cold. A quick Alberta clipper goes through the Great Lakes into the northeast and exits out at the mid-Atlantic before we see our next major low pressure system forming here in the northwest. And it's a doozy. And that is this Saturday, December 27th. Another clipper in the northeast. And right now the GFS is just showing lots of rain and snow mix, and almost as if the high pressure systems are pretty much absorbing these heavy moisture systems. So we will have a full update tonight. Actually, we'll take a look at the weather before we get into our conversation with Lee Wheelbarger tonight. Lee is going to join us, and we're going to talk to him about 5G and what its effects are. There's a lot of disinformation out there on the internet, and Lee would like to take some time to clear that up because there's people in this community who are interested in the effects of 5G. So make sure you guys join us tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for our live show with Lee Wheelbarger. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us this morning with our morning updates. We hope everyone has a great Monday, and we'll see you tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll talk soon, guys. Take care.
Do you like this show? Give us a thumbs up. Want to support us more? Share to your favorite social media platform. Buy a t-shirt or become a Patreon. All links are in the description below.